What is going on YouTube? Hey, back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. Now, yesterday we were watching the continued correction as we did seem to have bounced off a bottom support line just a couple of days ago. As you can see on most of these major cryptocurrencies, it was about the 12th to the 13th where we kind of bounced, retested some vital supports, and started to reverse outside of our downtrend. On XRP specifically, we were in what is called a rising wedge pattern, filling in this gap here, which unfortunately has a bearish kind of outlook, a bearish, indicator of what usually comes afterwards here, a breakdown. And that's exactly what happened here, which did open up some short opportunities for us to leverage to the downside here. But we then bounced off a bottom support and are starting to reverse to the upside. Now, it's nothing crazy. We aren't exploding, but we are headed up, which is definitely a good sign. And hopefully we don't continue to proceed to head lower. That's kind of what we're going to be going over in today's episode. On Ethereum too, you can see it. This is exactly why I said in yesterday's episode why I'm not buying in any sense or in any sort on Ethereum, because typically what Ethereum does is we've had a lot of these kind of bull and bear traps here where the prices do inevitably close way above our downtrend in yellow here, but the price then comes stumbling lower. Vice versa, we have bear traps where we do decide to dump and close below, and then just a couple of hours later, we end up getting right back inside of it. So you can see the uncertainty period on Ethereum is very all over the place and sporadic, and makes trading this that much more difficult. So just like I said, you can see 2 days ago, we had confirmed closure above here. You can see we ended up closing right at 1600 above the major yellow downtrend, and then we immediately reversed yesterday right back inside of it here, which means had we have bought in, we would have been out or gotten stopped out here. It's a pain in the butt, but inevitably, that's why Ethereum's kind of on the back burner for the next coming days until we see some sort of certainty or some sort of certainty within technical indicators. But then moving forward on Bitcoin, we do look good in the sense that we are seeing higher low formations here on the daily. 1, 2, here's the third, and it looks like we're going to start to trend upwards, which is definitely a good sign. And we'll be wrapping up today's video with the S&P 500, which also, in my book, looks good and looks healthy for a continued run to the upside. We are panning out a beautiful bull flag formation here, which inevitably has a bullish bias here. So we should be ending this bull flag in a break to the upside here. But with all that being said, make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's jump into today's episode. So guys, yesterday's video, you can see pulling it up here, I wrote, we just pumped in the essence that we just started to rally back to the upside here. I showed major run just happened here. How much higher will we be moving to? You can see how history is inevitably repeating itself for, I believe this was Bitcoin here. Was it Bitcoin? Yes, Bitcoin here repeating itself, starting to see these higher low movements here where we have drawn in these circles. Why did that do that? You can see in these circles here, movements to the upside. Every time we retest the support, we end up moving higher than the last. Now, looking at the current coin market cap here, a quick refresh reveals that the market is still trading at $1.09 trillion at a 47 on the Fear and Greed index, and we are starting to consolidate after a run. You can see the Bitcoin chart is up about 4.7% for the week, and we just kind of started to veer upwards here from the sideways channel, starting to correct higher. And you can see that's pretty much taking place in a lot of these major cryptocurrencies where we did just start to see this uptrend take place here. Now we're starting to consolidate back down, which is totally fine, but inevitably we are in that upwards movement, that upwards trajectory that we've all been patiently waiting for. Now, specifically, how does that pan out on XRP? Well, a few interesting things as to why we rejected originally on XRP, but we do have supports here, and you can see how the markets have been moving for quite some time. So come January 1st of 2023, we've been in an uptrend. We kind of bottomed off here for the market, set the lowest point. I mean, ideally the lowest point was around June of 2022, but since then we've been pretty much panning out the same zone here. We were in a major downtrend in purple. You can see broke out of it and are starting to head to the upside here, coming into contact with yet again the weekly moving average, a much stronger resistance. You can see how much space is in between these two, so we're in no way ready to cross over, but I do think it is destined to happen here, as you can see how the moving average weekly gaps are getting much closer. We've now pretty much halved the size how wide we were originally here, but you can see the main focal point here is every time we start to head up, we get closer and closer and closer to closing the gap within the moving average, the weekly moving average, and the price. And you can see we did have a major surge, a major flare, some would call it manipulation here. We can, calculate that out here. But as you can see for the current time being here, we are sandwiched between a rock and a hard place where the prices are kind of battling in between up and down the moving average and the price floor, the support level. And the ideal goal is for us to inevitably close a weekly candle above the sideways, or sorry, above the moving average here. You can see in green, this is the lowest point right here. You can see just a couple weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we ended up retesting it. We had 2 weeks of retest here, no luck trying to close above it, and you can see that's what caused the inevitable correction to the downside. So if we can get back above, break through this, there's a very easy chance we're going to immediately flare from 51 cents all the way to 61 cents here. Now jumping to the daily, you can clearly see what we've been dealing with here. So not only do I expect to see a 61, maybe 69 cent, somewhere along this zone right here, but inevitably what I would suspect to see happen is the movements to the upside. I would likely expect that in this consolidative period, this rising wedge pattern, which did break us downwards here, that this was ideally the lowest point we're going to move to. If you take kind of the length of this and you then put it right for the breakout, it's about the same movement. That was about the same correction here. We could take this flag, what stumbled us into the rising wedge, but I think that's a little bit over manipulated for the time being. But the fact that we've corrected back down to retest support and are now starting to reverse off is good news to me. I believe we're going to be continuously coming back up and inevitably retesting that moving average right here. This is the problem zone. This is what we're going to try to retest and hopefully close us above that. And then we can get in for a long position and we'll scale to the upside here, because I still am a firm believer that we are going to be breaking through this blue band of resistance as we've used it in the past. And I think we're going to come to contact with it again, and then hopefully we'll break through it. Now, obviously, the trades that we've been making, the previous trades that we've been making on XRP, have all been done using BidFi, which is the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. BidFi lets me buy long, sell short, leverage trade, create stop losses, take profits. Literally anything you can possibly think of is offered on BidFi, including the welcome rewards sign-up bonus, where you can earn up to $2,888 for completing very simple tasks. Like I said, $2,880 completely free by signing up down in the description below. Once you sign up, then you can get the new user, advanced, and exclusive tasks. You can fill these out and earn some free crypto. There's a lot of more cool stuff coming to BidFi too, which I'll update you guys about in the near future. But you can see, going to derivatives, click on USDTM, go over to the Bitcoin right here, type in XRP, and now you can leverage trade XRP. You can create long positions, short positions. You can create, the amount of leverage you want on XRP. Not many exchanges offer that. They then have a take profit ratio. They have a stop loss right here. You can set either of these to whatever you want, which is really, really, really cool. So make sure to check out BidFi down in the description below. And with that being said, moving forward and looking at these other cryptocurrencies here, Ethereum, Bitcoin, the S&P, you can see the reason I've been postponing my trading on Ethereum is because of how erratic and sporadic, or basically erratic Ethereum has been. We're in this descending fractal here, and we've been consistently seeing flares above and below, consistently on Ethereum, which in my mind is not enough for me to want to buy in and risk getting involved because of how quickly these flares happen here. We end up getting burned 9 times out of 10. And that's why I've been paying, that's why I've been putting Ethereum on the back burner until I'm ready. And we see that Ethereum's in a trading technical indicator that is definitely a lot more of a conservative buy-in approach here. Right now, things are a little bit all over the place, so I can't really use it as a reference point because we'll end up, getting burned here. But moving forward from Ethereum, looking at Bitcoin, and then the S&P 500. Bitcoin actually looks a lot better than the other cryptos. I'd say it goes Bitcoin, XRP, and the S&P 500 is just kind of separate from there. But Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum in regards to trading, and the reason being is because Bitcoin looks really good. More so, if we jump to the weekly, you can see Bitcoin, where is it? Right here, is now trading in the middle of its moving average. This is what we're looking to see happen to XRP. XRP got rejected off its moving average on the weekly charts, while you can see Bitcoin actually broke through it as of this week. This week, we have officially broken into it here. Ever since we bottomed off right at around 25K, we reversed immediately off of it and are starting to come back to retest that weekly moving average here. And now we're starting to trade in it. And then I think we're inevitably going to be trading above it, which is very good, especially with the timing of how the markets are moving here. So I'm a very strong believer that this is going to rebound. And we're going to start our ascent to the upside here, retesting all-time highs and moving even higher in the very, very, very near future, which is exciting to me. So with us breaking through that, you can then see how we've been moving. Now, yes, we were retesting overbought just a couple of days ago, about 3 days ago, but we are consolidating back down. And if we continue this stair-stepping pattern, it should inevitably start scaling us to the upside here, which is an easy trade. So maybe for the most part right now, we might correct lower here ever so slightly, but it would be a healthy pullback that would allow us to head even higher up within Bitcoin. And now lastly, to wrap up today's video, looking at the S&P 500, basically, as I've said before here, we're inside a bull flag formation, as we've shown, or as I've shown and we've seen in the past here. We can go to the most recent one. You can see the uptrend, the lower high, lower low formation here, and then we end up coming into contact with a lot of these resistances here. We break through and rally up. So it's kind of the same, we're in the same boat as we are currently, where I'm a strong believer that we are in this uptrend, lower high, lower low formation here, coming into contact with moving average. The goal is to break through this, and we should especially see pretty solid reversal uptrend. Maybe it's something like this, but an uptrend nonetheless, as this is a bullish movement to the upside here. So keep your eyes peeled on that, as the S&P in my mind looks bullish here. Hopefully we don't head lower. Obviously anything's possible, but the ideal goal is that we continue to use these supports here and the moving average and eventually break through it. But with that all being said, make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.